so many of us are in doubt about our own worth. Not more so than our purpose. We're confused about the value we have. It comes from the poor self-image, that we see ourselves just as a physical being, and we don't give credence to the spiritual aspect of ourselves. But that's why I think that the 7 laws, the 7 universal laws, are so important. I think the 7 universal laws gives us value, speaks to our purpose, and so we should be taught the law, and not just taught the law to memorize or to study, but we have to really become intimate with that knowledge. And I think that once we become intimate with the knowledge, it becomes the first stage of intimacy for us. It becomes a foundation of intimacy for us, and it allows us to build intimacy the rest of our lives. So we can't just take the universal laws and memorize them. We can't just be able to repeat them. We have to actually become intimate with those laws. Those laws that give us our value just from the fact that they're the absolute laws in the universe. There are 7 laws, universal laws. The first 3 of those laws are absolute. They're eternal. They work 24 hours a day. They can't be disturbed or interrupted. They can't be shaken or broken like faith can be, right? Or praise can be. When we're raising up our children, we praise them and we encourage them so that we hope that they develop really strong character and that they have a very solid belief in themselves. But we all know that life can shock and rattle and shake and break all faith and belief, because it is based off of belief. The universal laws, they correct that for us because they're based in knowledge. Just like 2 + 2 is 4, and you know it emphatically and no one could ever tell you anything different, you have to know your value in order to sustain your peace, in order to realize your purpose here on earth. The first 3 laws of the universal laws, the 7 universal laws, are all absolute. They are all eternal. They all speak to the first 3 laws speak to your intelligence. They speak to your relativity here in this physical realm, in the universe. They speak to the power of love that's inside of you. And those 3 laws set the foundation for who you are. And once you understand those 3 laws, there's no way in the world you don't sense or realize or understand your own value, your own worth, and it never changes. So regardless of any condition you go through, those 3 laws, those 3 absolute laws of the universe speak to your worth. And they speak to your worth because they govern, they sustain, they contain all that's in this universe, including you, that you're directly linked to that through your spirit. And that's why we have to give credence to the spiritual aspect of ourselves. That's our untapped potential, because that teaches us of our value right from the beginning. If I teach you as a child of your intelligence, if I teach you as a child of your relativity, or if I teach you as a child of your power, of the power of love that is actually inside of you, then you know your value. If you realize your value, then you understand that you were so loved in this world and somebody made and created you, absolutely. That they left no possibility for anything to interrupt the truth about who you are. The only issue for us is our minds, our rational minds. We question because we have never, ever been taught our absoluteness, the eternal aspect of us, the real truth to us. And once we realized that we were loved that much, that we were formed with that absolute power, that our value is eternal, our minds are eternal, our relativity is eternal, then we realize what real love is. And that's the first example of intimacy. That's the first understanding of intimacy we're ever going to have. So we teach those 7 universal laws, but not just so you memorize them and you can study them. We teach you those 7 universal laws to become intimate, because this intimacy that you experience from this understanding, that intimacy is what radiates, what vibrates within your being, and that's how you attract true intimacy into your life, in every aspect of your life. So our 7 universal laws are taught not for study, but for intimacy. So once we understand those laws, then we have to understand that we were so loved, so wanted, that we were given an eternal power, an eternal intelligence, and an eternal presence in the universe. And that to me is true intimacy.